You've seen their accomplishments, but you may not know who's responsible for raising money at Huntington University. Find out more on this episode of Forrester Stories.
All right, let's go. Here we go, guys. It's going to be great. All right, let's do this.
Huntington University's Forrester Stories.
One branch at a time.
I'm your host, Ashley Harmon, and today we'll dive into the world of advancement at HU. What happens to the money they raise, more on the Step Forward campaign, and what else they do. Please welcome the Vice President of Advancement, Stephen Weingart, who agreed to come on the show today. Thank you, Stephen, for coming.
It's my pleasure.
So, what is advancement responsible for?
That's a great question. Most people don't know what we do. So I usually categorize it into three things. We do alumni relations, community relations, and fundraising, as you mentioned earlier. And you probably didn't know this, but you're actually considered an alum if you have more than 12 hours of school here at Huntington. You're considered an alum. Even as a student, you're an alumni in residence.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. So, what kind of work do you do with the alum?
We communicate with them. We're a conduit between the university and our alumni base. We like to keep tabs on what they're doing and the impact that they're making in their vocation, in their church, and their community. Then we also update them on things that are going on at the university.
Okay. And you said you do like fundraising in the community as well.
We do. So we do community relations and fundraising. And the fundraising component, we work with our alumni and friends to raise support to help the mission of the university. So that falls into quite a number of categories, actually. So one of the primary things and the most visible to students is the Forrester Fund. Most of our students get Forrester Fund dollars that we raise on an annual basis. We also raise money for our endowment, and most people don't know what that means, but that's money that's invested long term. And then every year we draw from those investments and predominantly provide scholarships. So between the Forrester Fund and the endowment, we usually provide over $1.5 million for scholarships for students. And then we also raise money for capital projects. As you mentioned, you can see a lot of the work that's been happening around campus. And so we do capital, and we also help support programs, new majors or existing majors that are buying new equipment or doing other things to expand the major.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I think a lot of students don't know that.
Yeah.
So how do you go about setting up like those kinds of interactions with the community, and then also like what are the challenges of trying to raise money and just have those connections? Right.
Well, we have a long-term view of relationships. And so you might be a student at Huntington for 4 years, but you're a Forrester for life. And so that's the part of that we're responsible for, is the long-term relationship, both with alumni and friends of the university. And so we try to know what people are interested in supporting. The challenges recently have really been COVID related. It's been more difficult to meet with people in person and to hear what's going on in their life, and then also share what's happening in the life of the university.
Yeah, I bet. So it's like one of the highlights of being an advancement and raising funds.
Yeah, I think for me, when somebody decides to make an investment in the university, regardless of what they support, you understand that that's hard-earned dollars that they've made through their career or through their investments. And for them to invest those dollars here at Huntington, regardless of what that goes to support, is just really meaningful for me. To help people with their stewardship and their philanthropy means a lot to me.
Yeah, and so how did you specifically get into fundraising?
Well, it's interesting. I'm actually consider myself more of a business person. I spent almost 25 years in the business world, and I was serving on the board of trustees at my alma mater. and felt God tap me on the shoulder that there was something different for me to do, and I had an opportunity to get into the advancement world, and it was just a great natural progression for me.
That's amazing. We're going to take a short break really quick, and when we come back, we'll ask Stephen about the largest fundraising campaign at Huntington University so far.
This is how we like to do it.
Welcome back to Forester Stories. Stephen Weigart is still here with us. So I understand that we're in the middle of a campaign right now, a fundraising campaign for the Hub and the Plex.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your big role in that?
Yeah, so the campaign, which the public phase of it is called Step Forward, it started as Faith Forward as an extension of our strategic plan. So we moved into the public phase of the campaign a year ago and changed the name to Step Forward, and we're inviting people to step into our story. And it's the story of Huntington University and our students, our faculty, our staff, our alumni, and to support that mission. And so it's been an honor to be a part of it. We actually initially launched the campaign as a $34 million campaign, but shortly after I started in February of 2019, we increased the goal to $40 million for the campaign. And actually, I think we're going to be close to $40 million before the end of this calendar year. And we still have more than a year and a half to go in the campaign. So it's been very successful. God has really blessed the university. It's been really, really exciting. And as you mentioned, right now we're focused on the Hub project, which I think students are excited about. I know I'm excited about it. I walk down past the Hub every day because it's really inspirational to see the work that's going on there and to understand how everybody's going to do life in that space. And I know what that means to the campus community. But prior to that, we helped with raise funds for new program development. I mentioned the endowment earlier. We've increased the endowment. We've also raised funds for mission trips and service trips. I can't wait until students can get back to making those trips. I know they're life-changing. And as you mentioned, we have the Plex project coming up. So we're finalizing the plans for that. And probably the last year and a half to 2 years of the campaign, we're really going to be focused on raising funds to enhance the Plex. And we know that will obviously impact our student athletes, but we think it's a great win for all of our students, as well as the community. It's going to be a great community asset as well.
And do you guys kind of get a fatigue when wrapping up like big campaigns like this?
Yeah, that's a really great question. Very insightful. It's interesting. We kind of put our head down and go 100 miles an hour and do what we do. And every once in a while, we get a chance to take a step back and take a deep breath. And sometimes it can be it's really a satisfying feeling to know what's been accomplished through the work of the advancement office. But again, it's very clear that God's hand has been in it the whole time.
Definitely. That's all the time we have today. Thank you again so much for being here with us today.
My pleasure.
Make sure you join us next week for some more wonderful guests. And if you want to see previous episodes, be sure to check them out on YouTube or Facebook. This has been Forester Stories.